Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to this live chat here on December 28th at 3 o'clock. Hope you all had a Merry Christmas and a great holiday weekend here. Weather was gorgeous. Hopefully many people were able to get outside and utilize the outdoors here at Cedarfield and or went to a state park and got in some good exercise and hiking this weekend. It was good weather. Today for our live chat I have, I believe, 4 items to talk about. The format is very simple. Yours truly will be here for the next 20-25 minutes. We'll resume a live chat with operational department neighborhood updates on Wednesday at 3 o'clock. First, talking about the current situation here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Looks like all of our statistics that we have been using, the 7-day positivity rates for different regions, have remained the same and or have increased. The 7-day positivity rate for the Commonwealth of Virginia, Central Virginia, Henrico, Richmond, and Chesterfield, which are the 5 main areas that we've been using. All of them have remained the same and or have increased since Wednesday of last week. Here at Cedarfield, our dashboard is green in every level of care. The Health Center for residents and team members, assisted living for residents and team members, Sunshine Plaza memory support for residents and team members, and also in independent living for the main building and the cottages. Our dashboard is completely green. We do have a couple of tests that are out there pending, and we should get those tests back probably by either today or early tomorrow. But as we have contact traced a couple of these pending tests, we feel no need right now to change the color of our dashboard of any level of care. Second thing I just wanted to talk a little bit about is the COVID, the vaccine. And just a little snippet of education as we are 1 week away from Walgreens coming to Cedarfield. And I say that keeping everything crossed because we haven't received a phone call today, but Matt Dameron, the Associate Executive Director, or I are anticipating a call from Walgreens to schedule their visit for next week, as they have been telling us for the last several weeks that they plan to come out the week of January 4th. So if that holds true, we are 1 week away from Walgreens coming out and administering that vaccine. So just this little educational piece, again, these are all based on facts that are coming out of the CDC and or the Virginia Department of Health. When the medical industry back in February was designing research around some type of prevention for COVID-19, they were actually, the main goal was to actually reduce the risk by 50 to 75%. That was the chief goal, 50% to 75. And the early data that we have now at our fingertips, because of the research that has gone on since February, is that this vaccine, particularly the one that we're going to get here at Cedarfield, has an astonishing 95% effectiveness rate. And so I just, all the articles that I'm reading and or people I'm listening to on conference calls, which there are about 2 conference calls every day that Matt Dameron or I could attend in order to get more information from the CDC or the Virginia Department of Health. I keep finding this particular statistic astonishing, the fact that that main goal was 50 to 75%, and now here we are, because of all of the advances of medicine and where they've come with the research of that mRNA, that we are at a 95% effective rate. I think that's just great news for us. And the other piece to all the articles that I'm reading and the folks that I'm listening to that I trust, mainly the folks at our Virginia Department of Health, like most things that cause our immune system to work, like the flu shot, strep throat, the common cold, all those things where our body is responding to things because we don't feel well. None of us want to feel well, right? We're achy. That's not how we're programmed. We don't like to be laying down and out because of some body aches. But the truth of the matter is that this COVID-19 vaccination, there is a likely chance that folks will experience something because of the shot. My wife received her first dose 2 Saturdays ago, and still she has not experienced any symptoms, any local reactions. But Pfizer is tracking this data. I think it's important that people know Pfizer is tracking the injection site to see what percentage of people experience soreness around the injection site. They're tracking fatigue. They're tracking people that have headaches and muscle pains and chills, joint pain and potentially fevers. And what most of that research has concluded through Pfizer, and they're gathering that data because of the research, the data that Walgreens and CVS and other providers are giving back to them, is that most of the symptoms are not, I repeat, most of these symptoms are not severe enough to change the course of an individual's daily activities. And so I'm hoping to get together some of those facts that I have been reading and or listening to and publishing a memo here midweek so that folks have concrete data in your hands to make an educated decision and or follow through with the vaccine administration record that many people signed. And so the other thing that has been interesting to me reading through these articles is that most of the reaction to the vaccine and the symptoms are occurring not with the first one, the first dose, but the second dose. And again, most of these symptoms are more related to a general feeling. They're not actually causing the individual to be down and out and changing their daily routines. And so the other statistic that I am reading through reliable data is that the individuals that are over 55 years of age appear to have fewer side effects than the younger people. And so I'm going to continue to follow that and again, quote some reliable sources to be able to put together a very factual memo here in the middle of the week. And so I think it's important this week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, as we have these live chats, to provide, again, more education, not just here at the chat, but have a document that people can read here midweek, because there's another statistic that is pretty alarming to me from the CDC, and it's the following, which I hope to avoid at Cedarfield. The CDC is hearing from the CVS providers, the Walgreens providers of the world, that many communities have overstated the number of people who wanted the vaccine. The CDC is also reporting that these pharmacies are calling nursing homes, assisted living communities, and retirement communities days before their clinic is about to start, to confirm the number that was reported a few weeks ago, as we did, and confirming the count with those nursing homes, assisted living communities, and retirement communities, so that they can bring the sufficient number of vaccines to the property. Here's the chilling thing that to me has happened reading the results from the CDC, that there is a significant number of providers who aren't even close to getting the number of people vaccinated that they have reported to their CVS or Walgreens provider 2 or 3 weeks ago. So what is the significance of that? The significance is when CVS, in our case Walgreens, when Walgreens comes to Cedarfield, they have to thaw out the vaccine before they get here to be able to administer the vaccine. That makes sense. If the people who have signed up, in our case, through that vaccine administration record, if people don't show up or change their mind, if a significant number do that, it doesn't give Walgreens enough time to react to be able to take that thawed vaccine and ship it out someplace else. So what happens? Eddie, anybody? Actually, nobody's here. The vaccine goes wasted. That vial goes wasted. And so, again, I think it's just, I just hope that at Cedarfield, we don't allow that to happen. I'm hoping that every team member who's listening and or who's going to receive more information this week, and I know the residents here are very genuine and authentic, and folks that signed that form are intending to come to this fellowship hall to get that vaccine next week. And I just, again, I think we should spend the majority of this week, again, not taking for granted that people have 100% made up their mind about the vaccine, and we continue to provide residents and team members with accurate information so that we can raise the checkered flag here next week at some point and sing it from the rooftops that 100% of the people who actually signed the vaccine medication record did indeed get the vaccine, which is important for herd immunity and being able to probably, once we deliver that second dose towards the end of the month, and then as 7 days pass thereafter, if we have a healthy percentage, we can work with the Virginia Department of Health and loosening some more services and amenities up here at Cedarfield. That's my goal. No one has actually told me that, but again, if any resident or any team member or any family that's listening, any Pinnacle Advantage member, if anyone believes that a certain area of the campus needs some education, those team members, if you think that your department or your neighborhood needs a little bit more information to either have more people, we can still actually sign people up Walgreens has told us that if there are people that did not sign their VAR form 2 weeks ago and show up next week, that they will have, they would like a little advance notice, but if they did show up, they'll have some vaccines on hand to help administer a few extras. And so that's the goal, is to get 100% of those folks that sign the form and or helping other people cross the finish line here. So I hope we don't sound like a broken record over the course of this week, but we want to provide as much factual information as we can, again, to help people cross the finish line and or to help new signups through that VAR form. In particular, as it relates to the Walgreens rollout, again, we are targeting next week at some point to administer that first dose. Matt Dameron or I should receive a call here late today or tomorrow to talk a little bit more about the date of next week. So we're a week away. We are 1 week and a few days away from receiving our first dose here. If you have not been contacted by, let me break this down for a second. If you live in independent living and you have not been contacted by Ann Hopper yet or her team, and your insurance cards have changed and you know that we don't have your accurate insurance card, could you please contact Ann Hopper and the clinic so that we can receive your most accurate picture of your insurance cards. This is one requirement of Walgreens. I know I even have difficulty on the back of that VAR form. It asks for our insurance information. Walgreens does want a copy of our insurance cards. And so Ann Hopper and the clinic has most of residents that live in independent living's accurate card, but if we don't, please again contact Ann Hopper. For those residents and or families that are listening that have a loved one in assisted living, memory support, or the health center, I'm almost fairly confident that we have 99% of accurate insurance cards on file, electronically scanned into our system. If you just want to double check with your neighborhood leader or your clinical leader, if you not have done so already, that would be great. And if you are a team member listening, and if you have signed the vaccine administration record, and you have not done so already, please make sure that your department director and or Matt Dameron has a copy of your insurance card so we can accompany that stapled to your VAR form. That would be great. Again, we are planning, this has been a request of some folks, residents that live in independent living. We are planning for additional nursing staff to be on hand for the 24 hours following the vaccine date, in case we have some residents that have allergic reactions or are anxious about different signs and symptoms that come up over the course of the following 24 hours after that vaccination date. So we're planning for that. And then the last thing in terms of the Walgreens rollout, there's a lot of data and process that we have to set up. As soon as that Walgreens representative contacts us, not just with the date, but how they intend to roll out the vaccine here in Cedarfield, they are in charge of it. They have a contract with the CDC. Cedarfield does not have a contract with Walgreens. We just happen to be assigned to Walgreens. So at this point, I'm not quite sure all of the details revolving their plan to administer the vaccine here in Cedarfield in what will most likely be one day. So it'll be a pretty hectic day. but we're going to get through it and get it done. And once I know all of those details, we will communicate those details to residents and team members. There was a few of us that were gathered today, and we were talking about making sure that the day, that vaccine day, is a day filled with anticipation. And so I truly believe that. I am really anticipating the day that Walgreens gets here to provide the vaccine for Cedarfield. And so we are going to make that day a celebratory day, along with the education this week, to hope, again, to cross the finish line, help people cross that line with the checkered flag, and or influence some others that have not made a decision yet, or maybe even are continuing to say no, in hopes that we can provide sound data for them so that they can make maybe an alternative decision of actually getting the vaccine. So look forward to some more celebratory type of information or events around the campus. A couple of minutes ago, I was talking with a family member in assisted living, and it became apparent to me that this particular family and or the resident was not aware of what assisted living's three-phased plan is and where assisted living falls within that three-phase plan. And I've heard that story a couple of times over the last 2-3 days. And so Matt Dameron is gearing up to, if you are a family that's listening today and or a resident listening here at 3:30, want y'all to know Matt is gearing up to provide any other more recent updates to this three-phase plan. And we are going to publish the three-phase plan in every resident's mailbox who lives in memory support, assisted living, and the health center here by the middle of the week. And then any family member that's listening here tonight, certainly feel free to reach out to the neighborhood leader or the clinical leaders of that neighborhood, or Matt Dameron, or you can reach out to me and we can email you that plan so that everyone is on the same page as to what the plan is, what residents can do, what we are guiding people not to do because it's not particularly safe to do at this point, and just, again, keeping everybody on the same page. So I think that is all I wanted to cover. Let me check some texts here, see if any messages have come in. I don't see any texts or questions in my text box regarding COVID-19. Anyone is watching the live chat here and or tonight, if you would like administration to address any of our plan or any questions about the vaccine, and you cannot text administration during this hour, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, absolutely please feel free to call us and we will include those questions automatically within our FAQ section here. So know that that's available to everybody as well. All right, I think that is it for me today. Thank you for tuning in today. We appreciate your gift of time. And again, tonight, if you're watching this video, we thank you for taking time out tonight to listen to this information. We will have another live chat here on Wednesday at 3 o'clock, and hopefully we'll have even more details to share about the vaccine rollout. Until then, please don't let your guard down. As you can see, I've ramped up my guard. I now have 2 masks to protect myself. knowing that 90 million people were traveling this past weekend. I've ramped up, I got my infection control bottle, hand sanitizer with me. Hopefully you are as well ramping up your shared values and practices and lifting up what you're doing to protect yourself, not just out and about, but while I know within the Shaw household, we have a little schedule of cleaning the bathrooms, cleaning the doorknobs, etc. So hopefully you all have a little schedule of infection control within your own accommodation as well. Keeping yourself safe and everyone around you is the name of the game. And so if anybody has any questions about what they can do or have a question about a practice that they have employed, please feel free to reach out to Connie McGowan, our infection control nurse, our DON, Melissa Seiler. Feel free to call down to administration's suite. We can certainly walk you through what your own plan is to keep yourself safe and others that you may come in contact with to give you double thumbs up or maybe even offer a little bit other advice as to what you should do. So hope you all have a great night and a better day tomorrow, and we'll talk to you on Wednesday. Thank you.